Greetings everybody and welcome to a game by my friend Capion in the Sorry clan. Capion is one of the best players I know and someone an absolute joy to be around. So today we have an amazing game from him in the XM1A3, newly buffed with a absolutely monstrous game to look at. So at the start of the game, Capion is going to go to the usual spot on Narrows. For South Team, this is to go north through the field. A North Team usually isn't really particularly well suited at defending the field due to its flat terrain, so South Team usually gets a round over there, and while on the other side North Team usually ends up going south on this highway over here, and it often becomes a battle for the centre, with South Team going D-Day style on that bridge and that ridge line up at AB8 on the 8 line, and South Team and North Team are usually going all the way around to the map and catching them off guard. So it usually becomes a battle of endurance to see which team usually wins out on this map. Now looks to be a very unfortunate T90MS over there. Usually North Team just ends up abandoning this place, but sometimes you get the odd player around there. The only real defensive position they have is that little spot up there where my cursor is. As you can see over here, Capion has taken the long way round and he's been spotted, which means there's very likely to be either a light tank or an AFV up there. Capion is using the Berlin Brigade camouflage, which I very much disapprove of. Screw you, Capion. Doesn't seem to be anything so far. Fortunately, we have the camera working, so we're able to see where he's aiming. The XM1A3 is a tier 10 American MBT. Its side armor is actually pretty tough. The side armor panels, the ERA panels, actually provide work. And as you can see here, Capion is using the 120mm gun, which with Cortez 660 damage is capable of the highest single burst damage in the game. Well, the fastest burst damage in the game anyway, apart from, say, the missiles used on the T-15 and the Cornet. The XM1A3 with 120 also has the highest MBT DPM in the game, sitting around roughly 7,200, with the VT4 being at second, and a couple of tier 10s such as the Amata, the Merkava and the Alte being around the third place. So this is a very DPM oriented tank. It's quick 6-second reload, and the almost instantaneous burst damage makes this a very good attrition tank or DPM, or in many cases its 6-second reload allows it to simply just permatrack people forever. You get into a fight with one of these and your ready rack's down, you're dead. Oh yeah, this in hands of a skilled player, to be honest, the XM1A3 is actually very terrifying to look at. As you can see there, very fast reload and everything. He backs up behind this rock, pointing his front towards the Merkava. The Merc may not penetrate him or not, but it's best to point that front towards him, as he probably wants to save that side armor. Excellent aiming there on the Merc's ammo rack. The Mercs actually have 3 ammo racks in the game. They have one in the hull, one in the rear side of the hull, and one at the rear of the turret, which means a skilled player can more often than not pop them very easily. Now, Capion's team is getting bludgeoned by the enemy. Usually North Team ends up thundering down the 8-9 line and killing everything in their way. Sometimes South Team usually pushes up and wins, but it's not really that much of a given. It seems to be a pretty standard match. So we can see here, Capion's done around 10 shots of damage so far. Well, a little bit less than 10. And so far things seem to be going well, for him at least. He's on 6.3 damage, which I would actually rate as a good game, and I think I'd be pretty happy with these numbers. I think anybody would. But he's not done! So, threat priority wise, shoot at the Cornet. Screw the Armada. That Cornet has the immense burst damage. And thankfully that Cornet was using the single shot mechanism. Otherwise that could have hurt. Now, as you can see here, Capion firing his ready rack as fast as he can. Bit of a mistake there. I personally would have waited, but at this point it doesn't matter, as he can now whittle down this Amata very quickly. Instead, he's going to back up and wait for his ready rack to finish. This will give him the shot for shot damage bonus over the Armada, as the Armada does not have a ready rack or any kind of autoloader except for a single shot autoloader, which means if Capion controls this situation, he can do 1300 damage to an Armada 700. which is actually pretty decent if you'll ask me. So he's going to keep waiting for the ready rack. In this Armada situation, the Armada either has to push the XM1A3 or the Armada has to go hold down, preferably behind that corner over there. Instead, I think he's realised that a little bit too late. Capion unfortunately bounces off the ERA. Now, you should be very mindful that usually on this map, a very large portion of the enemy team will be on the 8 line. A couple of TDs, which meant Capion is at the risk, if he pushes up here, that he's going to get shot at from that hill over there. So this is a very risky move. As you can see, he's just coming into view of any snipers. Is there? No, doesn't look like it, so he's quite lucky today. You can be pretty sure that Anders is very likely to come behind, so Capion's going to move over here and wait for the Anders to come up. Usually it's a pretty predictable move such as this, and if you can be prepared for it, usually you can beat them off, as most players don't expect you to be. And there he is. Now, a very lucky bounce there from the Anders. If the Anders gets near him, its auto-loader will probably spell the death of him, so he's got to move very quickly here. Now another shot in, K21 bounces, using heat. No idea why people are using heat in this scenario. If that Merkava was using AP, he probably would have been able to pen him. Now it's a 2-on-1. Fortunately for Capion, one of them is a one-shot, so all he's got to do... Okay, now it's a 3-on-1. Unfortunately, that Merc should have been facing frontally towards him. Fun little mistake over there. Now, it could be likely that that K21 is going to come behind, and that K21 does have a 3.4? 3.6 second reload, I believe. And there's the Centauro. Yeah, and now the entire enemy team can see him. Unfortunately, he does bounce on that K21. Now, at best, he's... Now, the only thing he can do is maybe to go for that Sen. No. And he gets killed. So, let's have a look at those post-game stats, eh? As you can see here, Capion did 15,833 damage. Fucking incredible. With a Iron Star, of course. I don't think anyone has matched that. And he did top of the team with 5 kills. In fact, out of 8 kills in the entire team, he did 5 out of them. And he did just as much damage as the top 2 people on his team and almost as much as the next 3. So, yeah. Did almost half of his team's damage. Jesus Christ. Well, that's a good game, Capion. As you can see there, the majority of the things he used was target prioritization, predicting where the enemy would be, and good old-fashioned aiming at those weak spots. So nice job, Capion. Hope you enjoyed this, everybody, and I'll always feature more replays if anyone can send me them. I don't mind this. In fact, it makes me look better. Well, it makes me look worse. Actually, fuck that. It means I don't have to do carry games anymore. So it's pretty okay from me. Regardless, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all later today on Friday for the PvP/Glob stream. Take care, guys, and I'll see you all next time.